And so it begins. It is my second time leaving the country on a one-way ticket. Here I am at Los Angeles International Airport, wrapping up a 3.5-week stay in the state of California and the United States of America after nearly a 3-year absence from my native country. And this is going to be a new adventure. I am going back to Bulgaria, where I've been living and where I've been at least established as having a home base over the past few years, as I spend about half my time there and half the time on the road. But while I'm going back to Bulgaria and going back to my same apartment, it is a new adventure in the sense that I'm now going to be chronicling a lot more of my life and my lifestyle. Over the past few years, I got in the habit of reporting to you on things that I find interesting or major events such as the refugee crisis in Europe and some big elections and some chaos in Turkey and elsewhere. But I'm getting a lot of interest and getting some questions about what my life is like outside of what I show you in terms of politics and news, and I decided why not give it a go and give you a little bit of a glimpse into my day-to-day, and that's going to begin with this trek back from Los Angeles to Bulgaria, which is going to be a rather long journey, a little bit complicated. I'm going to be changing planes in Iceland, then Paris, where I actually change airports as well as planes, and then I'm going to fly into a city in Romania that I've never been to before, and then finally take a bus or train back to Bulgaria and settle back down for a little bit before I hit the Black Sea coast and hit the summer circuit in terms of travel. And that's a bit of a preview, and pretty soon it's time for me to board the plane, and before that I gotta get some work done. So I'll give you a last glimpse at LAX. And I will say so long and farewell from the United States of America. Just landed in Reykjavik, Iceland, and like always, chilly here. I'll get back to you in a minute once I get inside the terminal. So I'm off the windy, chilly tarmac in Reykjavik, Iceland, and inside the confines of the rather comfortable airport here, which has become frequently used for people who are traveling back and forth between Europe and the US. And from what I understand, there is now some sort of deal in which you can delay your connecting flight 48 hours and visit the country of Iceland, which I've yet to do, but I better look into. That sounds like a pretty good offer. Just got past security. Things are pretty quick and easy here, although they asked to see my Bulgarian ID card, which is a little weird. They asked for that also when I was passing through here on the way from Paris to Los Angeles. Doesn't seem like anyone in the EU other than Bulgaria has any interest in my Bulgarian ID card, but they want to see it here. Anyhow, gonna be heading to the gate in a minute and then need to get right back to work because I slept on the plane. It's afternoon here, morning now on the west coast of the US, and time to find my gate, get on the Wi-Fi, get back to work, and then catch a flight to the European continent. So I'll see you over there. I have landed in Paris. I'm at Charles de Gaulle Airport, back on the European continent, where I spend most of my time nowadays. It's after 9 p.m. here. I think it's around 9:20. So my flight out of Los Angeles last night was scheduled to leave at 9:50, left probably at 10 something.
Moving way ends in 15 meters.
Anyway, so factoring in the time change, it's a 9-hour difference between Central European time and Pacific time out on the west coast of the US. So it's been 24 minus 9. It's almost 15 hours since I took off. Over that span, I haven't eaten anything. I had a small tea in Iceland, and that's about all that I've consumed, which is a needed rest for my stomach. Some of you might know that I keep a very strict diet. I've developed digestive problems over the years, and because of that, I cut out a lot of different foods, and sometimes on top of that, I really should be cutting out food entirely for, I don't know how long, maybe fast half a day, every day, I mean a whole day every week or every once in a while. I don't really have a regular fasting routine like some people do, but it certainly gives my stomach a nice rest. Usually when I travel only with this backpack right here. Not all that big. As you can see, I went from Bulgaria to Paris for 10 or 11 days to the US for 3.5 weeks with just that. On the way back though, unlike I usually do, we'll be carrying a lot more stuff as I loaded up on supplements and some new electronic equipment, which will hopefully make my reporting and my videos that I'm producing significantly better. More of a load than usual, but so be it. It is 9 p.m. Wednesday, Eastern European time. I am now back in Bulgaria for the first time in more than a month. I'm sitting in the train station in the city Vidin, which is on the Bulgarian side of the Bulgarian-Romanian border. Looks like the pigeons like to hang out in here, although they stopped moving for a second. And since I'm on the Bulgarian side of the Bulgarian-Romanian border, that also puts me on the Bulgarian side of the Danube. I crossed over the Danube, flew into Romania from Paris this morning. This trip is getting a little tiring. I started out Monday evening Pacific time in Los Angeles. Flew to Iceland, changed planes, flew to Paris this morning after spending the night at Charles de Gaulle, the main airport in Paris. I changed airports, which was not so easy, a little sketchy. There were no taxis waiting for me around 4:30 or 5 a.m. and I decided to take up a random man on his offer to drive me from the airport to the bus station where I catch the bus to go to the cheapo airport outside of Paris, and it worked out, but it is a little risky to go with a random person, at least in most places. But I felt him out a little bit, and he wasn't being pushy, which is something that a friend of mine who has traveled all over the world and stayed in many different people's homes, he pointed that out to me once before, and wrote a blog about it too, about how if someone's trying to push you into, or really sell you into staying the night at their place or going somewhere with them, well then that's something to look out for. But anyway, I got safely from Paris's main airport, Charles de Gaulle, out into the boonies well outside of Paris to Beauvais, and this morning I flew from Beauvais to Craiova, Romania. I took the bus from Craiova to the Bulgarian border, and the bus driver drove me across the Danube and across the border in a BMW SUV. And here I am in Vidin, where unfortunately there are no trains nor buses that run in the evening to Sofia, so I'm gonna wait it out here tonight, either inside this train station or over at the bus station. I'm planning on taking the bus back to Sofia at 5 a.m., but I'll take a look at this train schedule, and it's a chance to practice a little Bulgarski. This says Raznisanie na vlakovete, which is testing me a little bit, even though the English is right above. Raznisanie is a word I should know. I guess it means schedule. Vlak right here, that means train. I'm not sure whether this literally translates to the schedule of train movements as they have up here. I'll get help from this obviously after I post it, or after I upload the video, but I'll try to work it out myself. Vlakov, I'm not sure if that means trains plural. When there's a T at the end, that could just be the, as in the article, the. So maybe this translates literally to schedule of the trains, or maybe there is the word or something meaning movement in this word, vlakovete. I'm not sure of that, but it basically means train schedule. But this is a nice opportunity for me to kick off something that's long overdue, and that's really getting back to challenging myself with learning Bulgarian and enjoying it. And part of that just might be random conversations with random people and random attempts to figure out what the heck I'm looking at and reading. Part of this word is covered. Rezervacji I продажба на международни билети за влак и самолет. I think I understand what that means. Rezervacji, reservations, I продажба, and reservations and sales for international tickets for train and plane. I guess you don't really need to read the Bulgarian, because here's a train picture, and here's a plane picture, and it says international tickets, so you probably don't even need to be able to read Cyrillic to figure that much out. I guess it's a little weird that they're selling plane tickets in here. I don't know where the nearest airport is, if there is one in Vidin. That would surprise me, or somewhere around here. I don't know, but I guess come to Vidin and buy a plane ticket from the Международная Kassa. Международная is international. Kassa is such an international word. Is there even a direct translation for it. I'm not sure, but the international desk or the international cashier or the international register, I don't know. I don't think there really is a direct translation for the word casa, but it's one of those words that you see in many different countries. I guess casa means home in Spanish. I don't know if there's a direct correlation. Someone who is into languages might be able to point that out for me, but I guess it's fitting that such an international word is following literally the word international. It is Thursday morning, a little before 9 a.m. I'm now back in Sofia, Bulgaria. I'm at the bus station, the central bus station for both the city and the country. It was about 48 hours, just a little more than 48 hours of travel from the time I took off in Los Angeles to the time that I arrived in Sofia, and I underestimated a little bit the length of the trip and how sketchy it would get at certain points. Maybe you can see me a little better now that the sun is out of the background. You can take a look at the Bulgarian and EU flags flying above as I enter the area, approaching the city center, and I'll probably get mobbed with some taxi driver requests, even though I'm walking around them. Anyhow, yeah, it did get a little sketchy at times, particularly last night, which I spent outside in Vidin, and I spent about 2 or 3 hours of the night out with some Bulgarian policemen and some random dude who came up to us who had alcohol, or a breath that smelled like alcohol, which, it's Bulgaria, things are different here. Much different than the US, that's for sure. But anyhow, that's all done with, and now it's time to make the very most of what's left of summer in Europe. It's a little chilly for a morning in July here, but it should warm up, and I'm looking forward to seizing the day and seizing what's rest of the 2017 European summer. I think I've got a lot ahead of me that's going to make for a lot of fun and excitement and fulfillment, and time to jump into that. I'll call it a wrap for this trip from LA back to Bulgaria. Ciao.